Welcome everybody out to Money Matrix Business Hacking. We are in week 4. And it's all about show me the money. So often as entrepreneurs, people will ask me, Woody, how do I make more money? And I have a system that literally will show you how to do it, but I don't like to show people until they have a little bit more experience because it won't make as much sense. So this is perfect for our leaders in Renatus because they are crushing it right now. So it's all about show me the money. And as we get started, just a quick reminder, if there is any issue with the internet, things crashing, and by the way, I have had internet issues in the last 24 hours. So if this crashes, shoot me a text. You guys have my cell number, 951-973-3408. That's 951-973-3408. Let me know, and then we will literally just reboot everything. I'll send you a new link, and we'll just get started from where we left off. All right, show me the money. Great catchphrase from a wonderful movie, Jerry Maguire, about, I want to see the money. I won't believe you until I see the money. So we're going to show you where the money is. Where is your treasure hidden? I want you to remember this equation. MPS times A equals any amount of money you want to make. That is MPS times A equals any amount of money you want to make. So the M, the P, and the S stand for message, products, and services. So I have read thousands of biographies, interviewed thousands of people, and I realized that there are 3 types of companies. There are message companies, products companies, and service companies. Now you can be 1 of the 3, 2 of the 3, or 3 of the 3. It does not matter in this equation. But you need to understand your company, is it a message company, a products company, or a service company? So message companies, these are your charities. Statute of Responsibility is a message company. It's got a message they're trying to broadcast to the world. You've got religions, and that is a company in essence. They've got customers, Congress or congregation members and so forth. Political agendas, saving the dolphins, environmental, those are all message companies. Products companies, very familiar with that. You got your retail stores, Amazon, Nike, Coke, Bose speakers, where you're selling a physical, tangible product. So Renatus falls into the product company. They sell education. It's a physical, tangible product. Though it's digital, it is still something you can watch and experience. Then you have service companies. That's your cell phone, internet, Pandora, a handyman, someone who comes to your house and wants to fix your lights. That's a service. Electric, think of anything that has a monthly payment. Those are always service companies. X is the multiplier on the map. So a lot of times when you're thinking about the map, it's like, well, X marks a spot, you got it. And so it is the multiplier. It's not just one thing. You've got to have more than that. So if you wanted just one treasure, yeah, so what? But there's got to be multiple treasures. And I want multiple treasures. I'm never satisfied with just one thing. And A of this equation equals the audience. What is your ideal audience? So I want you guys to text in right now and tell me what your ideal audience is. So 951-973-3408. This is part of the mastermind. I want you to text in, what is your ideal audience? Or who is your ideal audience? And I'm going to read that off because I want to make sure you guys are very poignant and very clear on who and what is your ideal audience. All right, texts are coming in. Okay, so here we go, are some answers. People who love me. So basically your mom is your only ideal audience. People who are driven, people looking to change their trajectory, people looking to create a true retirement plan, people looking for a new opportunity, hungry people, those who need financial literacy, people who are dissatisfied with their current situation, someone that is interested in what I have, 35 to 45 age range, working class with a desire to elevate their current position. Now I like this one because it's very specific. You got to say, let's be honest, everyone's looking for an opportunity. I mean, if you wanted to give me a Ferrari for the price of a Honda Civic, I'd take that opportunity. But let's get more specific. What is their age? What is their background? What is their religion? What is their political standing? And some of it will not matter, and that's okay. But do you know who your audience really is? Think of all your past clients, the people you have signed up. Is there a common thread? Let's say you attract more women than you do men. So for me in my coaching, I thought, oh, this is going to be a farm. There's going to be more men than women. To this day, it has always been 50-50. 50% of my clients are women, 50% of my clients are men. They're from the ages of 35 to 55. And that has been consistent my entire career. And there's always, some who are in their 20s, some who are in their 60s and 70s. But for the most part, that's my target market. So wonderful. I got tons of text here. Teachable. My ideal audience has a problem either around personal fulfillment or financial. People making at least $60,000. Now that's important. How much do they have to make to be your ideal client? Another person said business people. People are looking for hope, entrepreneur mindset, revolutionary leaders. They want to be in real estate. Great, you guys. This is perfect. This is going to come into play a little bit later. Let's keep going. So here's the equation. MPS, your message, your product, and your service, times A, your audience, equals any amount of money you want to make. So let's break this down to another level. Think about a school teacher. They have an audience of about 30 kids. They're going to cap out at 60 grand a year. You take Oprah Winfrey, and she, at the height of her career, she had an audience of millions of viewers every single day, and she had a net worth of over $1 billion. Was her message, her product, or service any more valuable than a school teacher? Absolutely not. The only difference was the size of her audience that allowed her to make a fortune. Now, take out the A out of this equation. All you have is PMS. You're anxious, you're stressed, you're frustrated, you're exhausted. So you know who you are. Like if I'm talking to you right now, you know exactly which ones who have PMS right now because you're frustrated. You're working on your website. You're working on your logo. You're working on all these things. You can't figure out why it's not working. It's because you don't have an audience. This to me is one of the most important equations in business. I coach many entrepreneurs around the country, even around the world, and I found this time and time again. They believe Kevin Costner from Field of Dreams. If I build it, they will come. Let me tell you this, Costner's a liar. If you build it, they will not come. You have to have an audience. So when I create a product or a business, I literally do not spend any of my time on my message, my product, or my service until I have an audience first. So I met with a gentleman yesterday who is a network marketing consultant. So he works with all the major players around the country. He works with multi-billion-dollar companies. And instead of sitting down with him saying, okay, I've got this product, this service, this message, I want to sell it to you, I simply asked him, what do you need? What does your audience need? And if I by chance have it, let's do business together. If not, I will either create it or refer you to someone who does. So instead of wasting time on all the shiny products and all the shiny logos and websites, go to the core. What does his audience need? Fortunately, they needed training. They needed personal development training, which Money Matrix, the video service, does that. And it was a great synergy. Now, let's say you take away the message, the product, and the service, and all you have is audience. Then you have YouTube. I mean, YouTube literally just sells eyeballs for a living. It doesn't charge for their message, their product, or their service. They just sell eyeballs. So, how do you get an audience? There are 3 ways. You can buy, build, or borrow. Think about that phrase, time, energy, and money. It works like this. Buying an audience. Buying an audience is very costly. That's spending money on television, newspaper, magazine, billboards, internet. You're spending money for eyeballs. So you can advertise on YouTube. That costs a lot of money. It's also bad ROI. ROI is return on investment because you can't dictate it. When I launched my last major book, Your Emotional Fingerprint, the publishing company wanted me to hire a publicist at $5 and $10 grand a month. I said, okay, prove to me what they're going to do. Show me that they're going to get me on the Today Show. Show me all these things. And they think, well, we can't guarantee that. We can't promise that. Like, you got to be kidding me then. I can buy infomercials. I can buy eyeballs. I can spend money to get eyeballs. You guys can't prove to me you can do this. And so I ended up not hiring. And I actually ended up doing my own infomercial. Still blew up in my face. It didn't work the way I wanted it to because it was costly. It was bad ROI. It's also very hard to manage. Building an audience. This one takes time. So time, energy, and money. This one's the time. Major commitment. So I have friends who are YouTubers who do quite well on YouTube, have millions of views, I mean hundreds of millions of views actually, and it has taken them an average of 2 years just to get an audience. Not even profitability, I'm talking just a major audience. Here's the other problem. You have to have consistent content. You've got to be pumping out information every single day or at least a couple times a week, and it's got to be fresh and it's got to be new. That's a challenge, and that takes a lot of time, energy, and money just for that aspect. Borrowing an audience. This is my favorite. This is all I do. My entire business model is built around borrowing an audience because you have leverageability, you have borrowed credibility, it's one to many, there are potential joint ventures, potential additional business you can do, there's the ability to mastermind, and there's connectivity. So look at my relationship with Renatus. Bob does not pay me, so all the time, energy, and money I put into it is my own expense. So that is the time, energy, and money equation that I have. But when I have built up that product and I've built up the resources, when I'm on stage, he's put that audience in front of me. He's given me his credibility. Now I do that across the board in all of my companies. Everything that I do, I look to somebody who already has an audience. I want you guys to start thinking differently. This is what's scalable. A lot of you guys are busting your butt every single day selling one-to-one, another one, another one, another one. What if you could find a relationship with somebody who could bring you an audience? Years ago, and this is actually where I learned this equation, years and years ago, when I had gone broke the first time. So I've told you this story, dropped out of high school at 16, millionaire at 26, broke at 27. That was the whole dot-com, dot-bomb of 1999, 2000. Then I got into mortgages and real estate, and I built a relationship with a guy who ran a financial service company nationwide. And so he and I built a relationship for years, and then when I got into mortgages, I went to him and said, hey, I would love to do the mortgages for your financial clients. And he said, great, I need someone I can trust. I've known you. Let's do this. So we expanded that from just our little community to 7 states, doing over $30 million a year in transactions. And he literally was my only client. I had so much business. I had 50 loan officers. I could not manage another thing other than his clients. So I was able to borrow his business. We turned our finances around. Things took off. Things were great simply because I borrowed it. If I had to go out and do my own marketing, which I did when I started the mortgage company, paid for a full-page ad every single week in the back of the paper, I did websites, I did webinars, I did seminars, and nothing produced as fast as borrowing his audience. Now, here's the important thing to borrowing an audience. You've got to create massive value for that person. I mean massive value. You cannot just go in there and rape and pillage, and sorry for the language, but that's what it's like. You are destroying people and their businesses if you are not creating more value than you're taking. So in the Renatus community, I consistently and constantly strive to create more value than what I take out. There's a ton of things I do for corporate, things for behind the scenes that people don't see or know about, because I'm trying to keep that value equation higher, that I'm creating more value for Bob than I'm taking out of the community. When I do these masterminds, when I do the one-on-one coaching, I strive to make it so much better than what anyone else has seen so that it creates more value. It's not about just making money, and that's the thing you have to understand with this. It has to be real, it has to be authentic, and you've got to create massive value for people. So here's the equation again. MAPS, MAPS. Message, product, service times audience equals any amount of money you want to make. So who has your audience? Let's go back to this slide right here, audience. Now this is where I want to mastermind. I want us to come together. I was coaching a one-on-one client yesterday, and I shared this with them, and it blew their mind. I thought, you know what? I want to create this for you guys. I've shared it in the past a couple times with other masterminds, but I think this is such an important equation, and everyone overlooks it, and this is why people struggle. It's back to the simplicity. So let's go back to simple truths. So let's text me if you will, 951-973-3408. Who has your ideal audience? So is that financial planners? Is that insurance salesmen? I don't want to give you the answers, but I want you to think. When you look at your ideal customer, who has access to that audience? So first question will be, who has your ideal audience? Go ahead and text that into me. And then the second question is going to be, what can you do to create value for them? Imagine if you had an audience who was sending you one Extreme Plus combo a month. That would not be a bad gig. And you can do that. It's not that difficult. So restaurants, high caliber entrepreneurs, HGTV, CPA attorneys, bankers, mortgage brokers, financial planners, real estate agents, lenders, churches, self-directed IRA, 401k companies, insurance agents, bookkeepers, churches. Great, I'm seeing a pattern here. Keep them coming. Let's see if we see more of a pattern. Once again, real estate agents, hardware stores, rich dad and other gurus, cable TV information channels. Now, health clubs, there's a new one. Yep. How much of your time is dedicated to building relationships there? So I break my time into threes. So 1/3 of my time is in masterminding. 1/3 of my time is spent in building relationships with joint ventures down the road. So a JV is a joint venture. So the gentleman that I met with yesterday, he's got a new book coming out, and he wanted my help in getting his book to be a bestseller and how to, save money on his book and so forth and so on. So after we're sitting down, and now he's a consultant for major billion-dollar network marketing companies, I said, okay, why don't we spend, I said, I'm swamped till January or December 1st. After December, let's spend half a day just masterminding. Come over to the new house. We got the whiteboards up. We'll mastermind for hours. And he said, Woody, we're going to have to go a full day because a half a day is going to be spent goofing off. The reason he said that, and this is important to understand, the reason why he said that is we have spent time goofing off. You cannot build a relationship with somebody and just instantly ask for their network, instantly ask for their database. That will never happen. He and I have gone kayaking together. We've gone rock climbing together. We've raced cars together. We've goofed off and had a good time. We've built relationships. And a while back, I actually tried to bring him into Renatus. He had sold, his company got sold. So he had this huge downline. And I introduced him to Bob, and he came to National last year, and even from stage, I mentioned his name. This guy has a great influence, but Renatus wasn't the right fit for him. He was trying to find something else. He wanted ownership in a company. He didn't just want to be one of the top distributors. He was looking for ownership. So he, worked for about 6 months to find a company that would actually share in ownership. But we always stayed in contact. Just because he said no to Renatus didn't mean I was going to cut him out of my database and not spend time with him and not help him. So now that he is, back on his feet, doing really well and ready to launch his book, he's willing to spend time together. This stuff is so simple, you guys, but everyone overlooks it. They keep spending more money on Facebook and more money on other programs instead of saying, okay, who can I build a relationship with? So just take 1/3 of your time. Maybe start with 20% of your time. Go create value for them. That's the second thing. What can you do to create value for them? So go ahead and text me in. What are ways that you can create value? And I'll keep reading these off. You guys talk about relationships, talk about MLM organizations, Home Depot. Those are all fantastic. So now let's go into what can you do to create value for an individual? Because this is very important. As you're texting in the answers, I'll give you the one that has been the most valuable for me. Solve one of their problems. So I, charge people how to, and I coach people on how to publish their books, get their books published. I've helped over 104 authors publish a book, and the new book for Renatus is coming out at the end of October. And so he came to me, he's like, Woody, I need help. So usually on a one-on-one client like that, I charge $10,000. But because the relationship was more valuable than the $10,000, I said, you know what? I can't give you all the answers, but you shoot me an email or a text, and I'll answer some of them as I have time to do so. So I was able to do that, helped him out a little bit. Every time he was going to go to another company, I said, hey, before you go to that other company, talk to me first. I'll tell you where to save money. So yesterday we're sitting down talking. He said, Woody, you saved me tens of thousands of dollars in headaches and problems and months of issues. Thank you so much. Now in his mind, I've created so much value that there really isn't anything I couldn't ask for him and he would give me. In fact, he started naming off clients. Hey, do you have this person as a client? Do you have this person? I said, no. I'm too busy right now. I appreciate you. Let's meet after December 1. We'll talk about it. So let's go back to what can we do to help create value for them? Got a bunch of good ones in here. Let me go back and look at these. Show interest reduction strategy. Maximize their return on their investment or time. speak to groups about wealth creation and retirement, host a cash flow game for their clients, share a plan to help their clients, help train them and their staff, introduce new people to them. Okay, that right there, that is it. Everybody else is looking for new clients. So for example, the one-on-one client I was coaching yesterday, he has a relationship with a mortgage broker, one of the most successful mortgage brokers in his town. And he said, Woody, we've been trying to get her out to a Thursday night event. I can't figure out why she won't come. I said, what have you done for her? Like, what's in it for her? What have you done to create value for her? And he's like, oh, yeah, I haven't. I said, you've got to create so much value that she's willing to cancel her in-laws lunch appointment. That's when you know you've created value. People will take any meeting with you, any meeting at any time, if the value is there. So sit her down or on a phone call, say, hey, I've got 20 investors who are always looking at investment properties. They're looking for a designated mortgage broker. Would you mind being our mortgage broker? How soon do you think she's going to take that meeting? Instantly. She will cancel other clients to meet with you. When she's meeting with you, then you can say, hey, you know what? We have these clients, we have these 20 investors because we run a investment strategy company, and we'd love to have you come and see our education so you get more acquainted with it. So when you're doing these mortgages, you know how to speak the lingo. Of course she's going to come because it's going to help her business. You cannot invite people if it's only about them. I'm sorry, you can't invite people if it's only about you. You got to make it about them. Find a problem they have and help them solve it. Yes, that is the fastest way to become friends with somebody. Solve their problems. Give them a nugget of information that gives them value. Share the income opportunity. Send them customers. Yes, customers, customers, customers. Fantastic, guys. All right, let's move on to some business hacks. You guys are doing great. Here is a business hack that I've seen, and it was researched by Juliet Zhu and JJ Argo. If you're talking about seating arrangements, so we're gonna leave the discussion about maps. I'm gonna give you 3 business hacks for the day here, and we'll end on that. When you're setting up a team building group, you want round tables. Round tables make people want to feel included. There's circumference. People are always looking at each other in the eye. There's this desire and this need to be connected. If you do an L shape or a square or a rectangle table, that format actually promotes individual desires. It promotes people to want to be independent. So I know the way your offices are usually set up as they are in rows, which are great because that teaches people to want to, what's in it for them kind of thing. But if you're going to do a Super Saturday or if you're going to do a cash flow, do it on a round table. Make everyone look at each other. That will bring in a sense of community and a sense of bonding. Dress for success. We've talked about this in the past. I thought it was crucial to bring it up again. Bob taught it in Sacramento. I thought it was so poignant. I thought I'm going to say it one more time. Research was done that they had a gentleman who would just jaywalk, and this is in the UK, the research, and nobody would really follow him, a few people. Then they took the exact same guy, they put him in a suit. 350% more people followed a guy wearing a suit crossing the street illegally. When we were in Sacramento, when we were in Murrieta, when we flew into San Diego, we're standing at the crosswalk, and I'm not exaggerating, this happened perfectly. A guy in a suit looked both ways and crossed the street while probably 30 or 40 of us were standing there waiting for the light at the airport. He walked right out, looked, crossed the street, and then every single person followed him. I thought, oh, why didn't I have that on video? That would have been so perfect. So dress to be addressed. Look the part. Make sure you look, and people are like, well, I want to dress my way. That's fine. You can be broke. There's nothing wrong with being broke. If you want to be successful, dress successfully. Not saying you need to go out and spend, $4,000 on a suit, but look clean, look groomed, take care of yourself, shave, get a haircut, make yourself look presentable, and you literally will make more money. Another business hack, where to stand in a picture. Always stand near the center. Your eyes are drawn to the center, and you associate those people standing in the center as a leader. So you guys, that is the business hack for today. Make sure you go out, you crush it, find your audience. So here is the homework for the week. Literally go network with people who have an audience. And I do this, I call it the interview. So my entire marketing budget is $26.37. I take people to lunch. Costs about $26.37. Sit down and interview them. You're a successful mortgage broker in the community. What are your needs? What are you looking for? I deal with a lot of mortgage brokers and I deal with a lot of investors, but I'm trying to find one guy or gal who I can send all my business to. Are you that person? Build a relationship with them. Find out what they're looking for, and that $26.37 will be your best investment ever. So have a fantastic week. Know that I love you. Keep rocking it, and we'll be here at the same time next week. Take care.